Guys, Erupting Tiger here with another how-to tiger style, and for this one I figured we would be doing farms. The first farm I would like to show you guys how to do, which it might not be the most efficient way, but it definitely will be one of the best looking ways you can do it. As I figured we would do a melon farm. Now, for melon farms, they're a little funny. You don't have to necessarily use the blocks that I'm using to enclose it. I'm just using the blocks that I like the best. So, for this, I like to do a 8-block row for each lane. And for the melons, you know, a lot of the time it can be a bit trouble to find meat, you know, from cows or pigs when you really need some food. So what's the best way to get food then? Well, let's see, grow it. And melons tend to be the easiest one out of that group too. So for this one, I figured we would make a very, very nice but small melon farm. Enough melons to be efficient for keeping us enough food to, you know, well, to survive, or enough melons to have a nice income if you're playing in a server with an economy and you want to sell these melons in, say, like a shop or something. Because I've seen that a lot. I've been playing quite a few servers lately, and I've really seen that kind of grow into a big thing as the melon shops and selling melons and all of that. So let's start out with this. This would be your first layer, and you don't really want this too long. And now this isn't actually going to be in water. This will be your another little side walkway right here, and then this will also be your water. So you'll have it like that. But then you'll continue to go up this way with, let's see how many this is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? And you'll want it to come up one more this way to, you know, conserve space so you don't keep going out further like that, and you can go out further like this. Because with the confined space that we're in now, that'd be the best way to do it. But you can always do it the other way depending on what kind of space you have as well. And this is for, you know, a farm that's going to be above ground, and it's going to be a very big farm, and it's, you know, you're going to have a lot of room. Now, I'll also show you a more simple way to build a farm when you have a confined space and it's not where you really want it to be. But that will be another episode. That'll be one of the time and space saver episodes. This is just going to be your you know, a nice structural farm outside. So let's fill all of this area in, and then I will till the land, put the water in, and plant the melons, and we'll be right back. Alright, now before you actually plant the seeds on the tilled soil, you want to let the tilled soil get it, you know, get its water, get it soaked up. So before we plant the seeds, we'll actually put these little stoppers, so the melons that we harvest won't fall in the water, and we won't have to deal with this, you know, awful water. And so we'll just, you know, we'll just walk across this, and it's a little easier this way, really. I mean, granted, it can be a little troublesome to actually put it in, because, you know, you can mess up pretty easily with it. But I don't know. It's good when you have it done. So let's fill all of these in. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing what I'm doing now and putting all these torches everywhere, but it is kind of nice for the nighttime if you have, you know, like a strong amount of light around it. Now, you could also make where these stone bricks are, you could make it into glowstone, and that looks very nice, and it also gives the light that you need for it to really, you know, flourish at nighttime as well. But I just like the way the stone bricks look, and the torches, you know, I mean, it doesn't necessarily take away from the overall, you know, the overall look of it, and it doesn't necessarily benefit it either. But it's nice enough that I think I'll keep it. Now, for the melon seeds, we will plant all the melon seeds down and be back again. Alright, now we have all the melons planted on all of the soil, and now we just pretty much wait for it to grow. But say it's out and about like mine is right now, you don't want, you know, mobs being able to trample all over what you've worked really hard on. So you do want to put a line of glass all the way down. And now, this line of glass not only, oh, see, look what I did. I just trampled one of our melon seeds by just being careless. Now, see, now that can happen a lot, and it gets a little tedious sometimes to having to come back and, redo this and all that. So if you just, if you just put this glass here, then that won't happen nearly as much. Not to mention, if it's outside like mine is right now, then the mobs won't be able to get it as well either. So it's a lot better. Like, see that little bunny right there? Just hopping around all happy? Yeah, he would just trample all of these without even thinking twice about it. Not very good. So let's just cover up all of the seeds so nothing can get in and trample it. Especially sheep. I tend to have a problem with sheep trampling my hard-worked farms. Those jerks. Okay, now let's get this good. Alright, now we have a completed melon farm. Now it's a nice size, it's enough that you need, and when it's all done, it'll look really nice as well. But now, you'd think for your pumpkin farm, you'd want it relatively the same, but that is not the way at all. For the pumpkin farm, you're not going to need as many pumpkins as you are melons because pumpkins are more for just show. Or, once again, if you're selling them, if they're nice, or if there's MCMMO on the server, you might want to have as big of a pumpkin farm as you do a melon farm for, for certain things like that. But instead of doing it just as big, we are going to do it just a little different. I'm going to have it not as big, but still a nice size because I want to have a pretty nice amount of pumpkins coming in. Well, because they're pumpkins and, you can build some very, very nice things with them. So instead of having just like all the rows, I'm only going to have one box of pumpkins. I don't need that many pumpkins, and I don't really want to have that many. Because, pumpkins, they do take up room and everything, and, well, like I said, you're just not going to need that many. So let's till all this, wait for it to grow, wait for it to get wet, and then we'll grow our pumpkins. Alright, now we have our pumpkin part done as well. And then this line will just be for our pumpkins, and it'll work very, very nicely. Now, well, you're probably asking, well, Tiger, what about wheat and sugarcane? Well, we're still going to use the same, 2 by 2, and we're going to be able to put the wheat and the sugarcane in it as well. So now, let's make the whole thing again, but let's, for the wheat and the sugarcane. Alright, now we have the wheat and the sugarcane areas done. Now you're probably a little curious too as to why I did them the way that I did. Well, this way we can have a very nice amount of wheat and we can harvest the wheat much faster than we could any other way. So, and you're probably curious why I have sand here. Well, this is for sugarcane, and a lot of people don't know that sugarcane grows faster on sand than it does on dirt. So you'd want to have you'd want to have your sugar cane on sand. You want it to grow pretty fast, don't you? For whether you're getting your bookcases or whether you're just getting for, sugar for potions or, whatever you're doing, you want the sugar cane to grow pretty fast, especially since you can harvest it really fast. So now let's till all this and let's plant. Alrighty, now we have, the water blocked off, so now let's actually plant the seeds. Alright, now for the wheat, you do want to cover the wheat up because, well, the wheat can be a bit difficult sometimes. So you won't have to cover the sugarcane up though, at least. So now let's get all the wheat covered with the glass. And now we have a completed farm. Now, you're probably a little curious as to why I put this one block high. Well, to get into the middle one, this one has to be 1 block high. Well, Tiger, won't mobs get in this one then and trample everything? Well, they would have to come in directly from this area and that area down there. Because if you get up here, you can't come down in this area. So technically, you're pretty good. You're pretty safe where you're at with that. Break that. Oops. So now we have our farm. We have what we need. We have melons, we have pumpkins, we have sugarcane, and we have wheat. Now, for the cactuses, I don't usually do cactuses, but you can do those another relatively easy way and still have the basic shape. And with the way that you would do cactuses, if you still want to have this outline of the way things are, then all you have to do is build out a whole nother one of these this way. But what I usually do, instead of doing a whole nother one, I usually just do a simple three over. So it's just one over, and then have this whole thing be cactuses. I'll show you. And now you have your cactuses, and it's only one thing out, so it doesn't look that bad. But if you want it to be, if you want it to be completely symmetrical, you can bring this one out again and make some more cactuses, or bring it out a whole nother set and just make more of whatever you really need to grow. And then that is how you would do a farm tiger style. Now, of course, for farms, if you want to go in a bigger scale, you can always go much bigger. And now this is what I have done for a bigger scale farm. I have my melons, which, are pretty much the most of it. You have your line of pumpkins, which are a pretty nice amount, and then you have your sugar cane and your wheat. Now, I haven't covered up the water because, well, as you can see from this type of view, it looks much better having the water shown than it does without. Now, this is the farm that I have for my server, and it took me quite a few hours. And if you wanted to do something this size, this type of scale, then I would use what I showed you in the video earlier. It makes things a lot easier, and it ends up looking even nicer than what this one looks. I mean, not that this one is like, extra special or anything. It just, I think it looks nice. I really do. But, yeah, now if you wanted to go something this size scale, then be prepared. And you need to have your setup kind of the way that I have mine. You need to have it uniform, so you know your measurements, so you don't miscount things, you don't mismeasure things, and that everything fits in there perfectly. So for something like that, you'd need to scale it out of course first, and do the outline. Don't put any of the water or the dirt in, but do the outline of whatever material you want your walkway to be, and it turns to be a lot nicer. But instead of having the water shown like I do, I would put the little half slabs over it, like you mostly would, because that does make it a lot easier to traverse, and you don't actually have to get in the water for when your things fall. But relatively speaking, it's a nice way to do a farm. It really is. And I would suggest to do a farm like this if you're doing it in a larger scale. Not exactly like this one, but like I said previously, the one that I did in that other world. But yeah, so this was how to farm tiger style, and thank you guys for watching.